Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining our live. We're looking at context clues this week for grade 7, and we'll be continuing what we started on Tuesday. And I brought a little hand to help me today, so say hi in the comment section, and later we can probably check those out. So with us, we have our usual participants. We have Alicia, we have Tiana, and we have Azaria. I always get your name mixed up, sorry. So before we get into the session, I wanted to talk to you girls about what your favorite song is. One that I wanted to share with you, but couldn't because of time and so forth, is the one by Chronix, Do It For The Love. Do you know that song? No? Well, when you go home, go on YouTube and check out Chronix. It's spelled with, I'll tell you how it's spelled after this. Do It For The Love. And it's a very interesting song because it talks about a lot of people do things because people on social media like Facebook or so forth like their photos or so, and that's the only reason they do it. So it's an interesting song because it helps you to think about reasons of why you're doing something. Are you doing it because of what other people will say, or are you doing it because you really want to do it? So some persons get into professions that they don't really like because they were pushed by somebody, oh, you should do this or you should do that, and they're trapped in that situation sometimes. So it's an interesting song from that perspective, but you may also find other reasons why you like it or don't like it. You don't have to like it. But let me hear about songs that you like, and we can talk a little bit about those before we start our session. Go ahead, Alicia.
You're Beautiful by Akarsiya.
You're Beautiful. Nice. Why do you like it?
Because calms someone goes along.
Does it make you feel good about yourself? Very nice. That's a good song then. What about you, Zaria?
I like the song Teamwork by Mackenzie Ziegler.
Yeah.
It talks about, not only boys could do things, but girls too.
Oh, that's nice. So it's empowering then. Yeah. So not you can do everything that a boy can do, right? You can build a house. You can drive a car, even, right? I need to learn to drive. That's a reminder. Go ahead, Tiana. What's your song?
My favorite song is Memories by Maroon 5, I think.
Maroon 5, one of my favorite bands.
Basically, it's like reminds us of the people that have passed away. Like you'll always remember them.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? When we're alive, we have to make those good memories. So when we're no longer here, people can think about the good memories. We don't want to give them a set of bad things to remember us by, right? And they say sometimes when you're dead, that's when you hear all the good things about yourself. So we want to make it a habit then to tell other persons what we like about them, or what we, something good about them to make their day perhaps. Because, they may not be here tomorrow. And when they're gone, or when you're gone, you want people to remember the good things about you, right? So we got to make those memories. It doesn't just happen. Good. So on that note, we're going to look at what our session is for today, context clues. And you guys chose a poem, right, for us to work on today. And the poem that was selected, you want to remove the water bottle from there? Thank you. So the poem that we're looking at today is Once Upon a Time. And usually when you hear the phrase Once Upon a Time, what comes to mind?
Like something that has happened once in like a life.
A long time ago. True. So it's like a time statement. What else? You look at a lot of movies, right? And you listen to a lot of stories. So usually what kind of stories start with Once Upon a Time? Fairy tale, right? And those are usually they always have happy endings, don't they? All fairy tales have some fancy ending. So it's always perfect, right? So we're going to look at this poem here, Once Upon a Time by Gabrielle Ocaro. That's the person who wrote it. So that's the writer. So I'm going to ask you a question about the speaker in a few. So let's look at the first one there. We're trying to figure out what this poem is really about. And without anybody telling us, we're going to use the information that's given to us to figure out what it's all about. So it says there, once upon a time, who? Sun. They used to laugh with their hearts and laugh with their eyes. So let's look at that first statement there. Once upon a time, sun. So who is doing the talking here?
A father.
Father. Perhaps a father, right? Once upon a time, sun. They used to laugh with their hearts and laugh with their eyes. Do you know what it means to laugh with your heart and your eyes? Do you think people can laugh and fake it?
Yeah.
Yeah, some people can fake laughing, right? But when you're laughing with your eyes and your hearts,
That means you're actually.
that means you're actually laughing or you're actually happy, right? So let's look at those two words. Do you know what's another word we can use for that to say that they're really happy or no? What about the word genuine? Genuinely happy or genuinely laughing, right? So let's look at that. And look at the other one there. You notice that word there now? But. So once you see but in a sentence or in a paragraph or so, are we going to expect that same thing happening?
No.
Something different will be happening, right? So if we say she was sad yesterday, but we're now expecting her to no longer be sad. So just now we were talking about genuine happiness or laughter that is real. So the but now, can you help me read along? But now,
They only
laugh with their teeth. So is that a genuine laugh? Is that a real laugh or a real smile? No, you're just showing your teeth, right? Or some people say skinning your teeth, right? While their eyes block, cold eyes search behind my shadow. So eyes block cold eyes. What is the person really saying here? What is the poet saying here?
um,
Cold eyes.
that the person doesn't like them, dislike them.
Possibly doesn't like them, but remember that because they're searching my shadow, right? So are they really smiling or showing their teeth because they're happy with this person? No. So it's someone who is putting on a front as if they're happier or as if they like this person, but they don't like this person. Everybody clear on that? So let's continue. Let's see what else we're going to find out. There was a time indeed they used to. So this, when we say used to, that's past tense. So it happened in the past. There was a time indeed they used to shake hands with their hearts. So again, remember we said earlier you're laughing with your heart. It means it's a genuine laughter. You're genuinely happy. So if you're shaking hands with someone and your heart is there, it means that usually when do you shake someone's hand? When you?
When you're agreeing with something. When you're true.
When you're true, yeah. But I could be true to you and not shake your hand. But what situation would I have to shake your hand? Think of when you go to school. People don't really shake hands these days anymore, right?
When they're making a bet. Right?
How about when they go into a room for the first time and they're now meeting someone? So they shake their hand. Hello, my name is so forth and so and so. So introductions, right? So this one here, they used to shake hands with their hearts. So when they're meeting somebody or when they're greeting someone and they're shaking their hand, it's real because it's with their hearts, right? Let's go to the next part now. But that's gone, son. So is that still happening?
No.
No, it's not happening anymore. Now they shake hands without hearts. So people are greeting each other, pretending as if they're all happy to meet them, but are they? No, everybody's pretending, right? While their left hand search my empty pockets. So while they're shaking this person's hand, their left hand is searching in this person's pocket. What does that mean?
They're robbing them.
They're robbing them or they potentially want to rob them, right? Or another word or another way of thinking of it is maybe they're just being nice to them because they can use them. Have you seen things happen like that in movies perhaps or your daily life or something? People use other people. I mean, it's not a great thing to say, but it happens, right? It's reality. Exactly. Good, it happens. So they're greeting each other, pretending they like each other, but they don't really, care to shake their hands. So you remember the last time we talked about quotation marks, giving meaning or so forth? But in this case, the quotation marks is just saying what the person said in reality. Feel at home. Come again, they say. And when I come again and feel at home once, twice, there will be no thrice. For then I find doors shut on me. So what do people usually say when you visit them? Oh, it's so nice that you come. When you're coming back, or you want to stay the night or whatever. So feel at home, come again. But if you do it once, twice, thrice, eventually what happens? People get annoyed, or sometimes they get tired of you, or so forth. So basically, humans sometimes say things, and like what we said the last time, do they always mean what they say? No, they don't always mean what they say. So they're telling you to come by them, to visit them. They're telling you to stay by them. But when you actually go by them or you stay by them, they're not happy about it. So it's like they say one thing, but they mean something else. So sometimes the context that you're looking at isn't based on what people say, but it's based on what they do. So they say something, but if they act another way, then you realize, oh, maybe he or she was just saying it and not really meaning it, right? So let's go on the other one. So I have learned many things, son. I have learned to wear many faces, like dresses, home face, office face, street face, host face, cocktail face, with all their confirming smiles, like a fixed portrait smile. So this father, this parent who is talking to his son, admits that because the world is like this, or because people are like this, what did he learn to do?
Fake a smile.
He learned to also fake a smile if he has to, right? I notice all those different places. When he's home, he is one way. When he's at the office, he's another way. When he's on the street, he's another way. So there's always these different faces or pretensions that he has to do in those different situations. Do you think sometimes adults are like that? Yeah? Have you seen adults pretend like that sometimes? So they may talk, you may know that they may not like somebody, but when they meet this person in public, what do they say? Oh, my friend, long I see you. One big hug up and kiss up and whatnot. And when the person gone, what do they say? They get, she like talk, or they suck the teeth or something, right? So you're like, didn't you just say she was nice? And now you're saying this? Good. So it happens like that sometimes too, right? And as children, you see this happening in front of you, right? So are there times that you also have to put on a front sometimes? No? Well, that's great. I'm glad that doesn't happen. Because some persons at school, when they go at school to fit in with their friends, they have to pretend that they like something and go along with the flow. For some students, it's like that. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but if you're doing it every time and every day, then there definitely is going to be a problem eventually, right? Because you can't think for yourself. You're allowing other persons to think for you. All right, so let's go here. And I have learned to laugh. I have learned to laugh with only my teeth and shake hands without my heart. So like you said, he has learned to put on, he has learned to fake it. Fake a smile, fake a conversation, fake whatever. And who is talking again? Who's the one talking here? Father. So he's a speaker in our poem, right? I have also learned to say goodbye when I mean good riddance, as in I'm happy to get rid of you. To say glad to meet you without being glad. And you've seen movies like that, right? And to say it's been nice talking to you after being bored. So this father has had to learn these things because of how people are, right? Or in Guyana, we would say how people stay, right? So, but believe me, son, so notice there's a but again there. So he explained all that happens, whatever. But believe me, son, I want to be what I used to be when I was like you. I want to unlearn all these muting things. So muting, do we know what the word mute means? Yeah, if you have a TV and it's playing music and you want to mute it, what are you going to do?
Stop it.
Good. So you press mute, and will you still hear it? Good. So if something is muted, then it kind of let's just say you can't hear it anymore. So these muting things. So he doesn't want to be like that anymore. Most of all, I want to relearn how to laugh So if he says he wants to relearn, it means that why does he have to relearn it? Because
He's always breaking it and he wants to learn how to put on a real smile.
yeah, but if you have to relearn something, that means that you forgot it, right? You wouldn't have to relearn how to do your 2 times tables if you know your 2 times tables, because you already know it, right? So the fact that you have to relearn something means that you forgot it. So that's the context that we're looking at there, right? Most of all, I want to relearn how to laugh, for my laugh in the mirror shows only my teeth like a snake's bare fangs. So if we're talking about a snake and the teeth or the fangs of a snake, is that a pretty picture? No. And if somebody calls somebody else a snake, is that usually a good thing or like a negative thing? Good. It's a negative thing, right? You don't call somebody you like a snake, right? You call somebody you don't like a snake. Good. So he's saying that he wants to learn and relearn from who? His son. So show me, son, how to laugh. Show me how I used to laugh and smile once upon a time when I was like you. So the big question is, why do you think he wants his son? Shouldn't it be the parent teaching the child things? Why does this parent want his son to teach him these things? We're going to start with Alicia, then we're going to come to Tiana, and then Azaria. Azaria.
Because he knows how his son, like, he knows his son is real and he wants to learn how to, like how his son.
Good. His son is real and he wants to be more like his son. All right. Can you continue from there, Tiana?
Because the son just came into the world and stuff, so he doesn't know about faking smiles yet. So yeah,
So his son is young, so he hasn't learned all these things as yet. Good. I'm looking for a specific word. Go ahead, Azaria.
He asks his son because he thinks his son knows more and he must stay kind-hearted and never be like bad-hearted, like be rude or so on.
Yeah. So he doesn't want his son to turn out like him, right? So the word that you guys were all talking about without saying was innocent. His son is innocent. So he hasn't learned how to fake things. He laughs if he's happy, he laughs, and if he's not happy, he doesn't laugh. You know, there's some children who don't like to interact with some adults. They would cry when the parent introduced them sometimes.
Yeah.
Because they're not comfortable with that person, right? So children will show you the purest of emotions. So if a child tell you you're ugly, you gotta know you're really ugly, right? They wouldn't lie. They wouldn't say, oh, you're so pretty, and to them you're ugly, right? So a child will be honest with you because a child is innocent. But an older person, knowing that you will feel bad if they say that to you, may just say, oh, you look tired today, or they polish it off so it doesn't sound so bad. But a child will tell you as it is. And if a child say you're pretty or you're beautiful, that's the best compliment ever, right? Because they're not gonna lie. They have no reason to lie. But sometimes adults, it's complicated, and sometimes we don't want to hurt the feelings of others. And that brings me to the task of being honest is one thing, but also we have to learn how to express ourselves so that we don't hurt others, because we don't want them to hurt us either. So we have to basically learn to live with each other. And I'm going off topic here, but yeah, back to our poem there. You guys hit it spot on. Basically understood what the main point is. The father wants to learn from his son because his son hasn't been corrupted as yet by human society, basically. So we have a few questions there, and the first one is about the speaker in the poem. So you remember at the start of the poem, there was somebody's name? Gabrielle O'Carroll. Is this the speaker of the poem? No, this is the writer or the poet or the author of this poem, but it is not the speaker. Who is the speaker in the poem?
the father.
The father. We're assuming it's the father here, right? And we know that because the person keeps referring to son. It could be mother too, but to me it seems more like from a male perspective than a female perspective, I think. Okay, great. All right, good. So let's look at the other question now. So the first one was on speaker in the poem. All right, we already talked about that one as well. What does the speaker want? What does the father want?
He wants to learn from the son so that he doesn't have to fake a smile.
Good. He wants to learn from his son so he doesn't have to fake a smile. So that's pretty much the questions that I had planned for this. But I wanted us to go back and look at this poem all over again and to really appreciate how the poet wrote this poem here. And we're gonna take it in blocks. So we're gonna have Azaria read the first stanza for us. Can you go ahead and read that for us, please, Azaria?
Once upon a time, son, they used to laugh with their hearts and laugh with their eyes. But now they only laugh with their teeth, while their ice block eyes, cold eyes, search behind my shadow.
Good. So I want you to think about what senses are being used there. Sense of sight, sense of touch, sense of smell. Which one? We got 5 senses, but if you count common sense, that's 6.
Sense of sight.
Sense of sight, yeah. Because we're looking at them with showing their teeth and so forth, right? Anything else? Sense of. What about that one? Ice block, cold eyes. Ice block, cold. So we're talking about feeling, right? Sense of touch there, kinesthetic. So we're talking about that. So those different senses are there. And the author is pushing you to think about it. So he's thinking about showing you their teeth. Only laugh with their teeth. Because when we think of laugh like as a sound, right? But he doesn't use sound there, he used teeth. To show that, sometimes people aren't really laughing, they're just showing their teeth. So that's different from laughing, right? Because laughing has real emotions with it. All right, let's go to this one here now. Tiana, go ahead.
There was a time indeed they used to shake hands with their hearts, but that's gone, son. Now they shake hands without hearts, while their left hands search my empty pockets.
So we're looking at a lot of hearts there. So in the first use of hearts, we're talking about this heart that people usually associate with love, right? Not necessarily the organ here, but the feeling with the heart. So in the first one there, they shake hands with their hearts. Can people physically put their heart there to shake a hand? They can't physically do that, right? So he's using that as a visual stimuli, you call it, or you can imagine it with your eyes then, that it's as if they put their hearts there basically. So you're shaking your hands with your heart, meaning you're into it. You really are genuinely, shaking this person's hand or enjoying meeting them, right? But if you shake hands without hearts, it means that do you really care for it? You don't really care to talk to them or anything, right? Good. So we're basically just reviewing what we did already, right? So let's go to Alicia, your turn.
Feel at home, come again, they say, and when I come again and feel at home, once, twice, there will be no tries, for then I find doors shut on him.
So he's talking about doors shut on him. And we know what that means, right? If somebody closes their door on you or in your face, it means that you're not welcome there, right? And notice what he said, repetition, once, twice, but not thrice. So he's looking at the time there. So if you keep doing something, people may be annoyed and they may tell you something mean basically, right? So let's go on to Tiana again.
So I have learned many things. I have learned to wear many faces, like dresses, home face, office face, street face, host face, cocktail face, with all their confirming smiles. I like a fixed portrait smile.
Thank you. So now he's comparing faces to dresses. And in our next lesson, we're going to talk about what kind of poetic device he's using there. But for now, if he's wearing them like dresses, do you just have one dress at home? You got a closet full of dresses, right? Or clothes. So one, you just pick whichever one you want to wear today. So he's kind of comparing it to that same scenario there. Good. Azaria?
And I have learned to
I've learned to laugh
to laugh while only my teeth and shake hands with my heart. I have also learned to say bye when I mean good riddance. To say glad to meet you without being glad, and to say it's been nice talking to you after bored.
after being bored. Very good. So basically we learned there that what? He has learned to also be fake like the rest of them, right? So we are going to stop the reading of the poem here, but I want each of you to tell me what is something that you learned from the poem about life. And who wants to go first? I'm going to choose if you don't choose to go first. You look like you have an answer for me. Go ahead, Tiana.
Because in life you have to fake a smile when you don't like someone. And that's very sad.
Yeah, it's sad that we have to pretend sometimes, right? Because is it enjoyable if we keep pretending all the time? At some point you're gonna stop pretending, right? And it's gonna break down into total chaos. So what's the lesson there? You can think about it. We're going to come back to you in a minute, right? Let's go to Alicia. From the poem that we discussed today, what is something about life that you learned?
That we should always express real emotions.
We should express our real emotions. Very good. And there are a lot of emotions, right? There are positive emotions, there are negative emotions. But is it always wrong to show negative emotions? Like if you're sad or angry, is it always wrong to show those things? No, it's natural to have those emotions, right? But the point is, we can't allow our emotions to control us. So not because you're angry, it means that you have to cuss down everybody. Or not because you're angry means you got to throw things down in the house or slam doors or so forth. But it means that you have a right to feel how you feel, but there are healthy ways of expressing those. For example, you can always choose to maybe take a step outside, get some fresh air, and then come back when you feel a little better. So you don't end up in a bigger argument than possibly what was happening. How does that sound? Yeah? All right. So not that you can't express those emotions, it's how you express them, right? Good. So let's go to Azaria. What is something you learned?
I learned not all the time you have to fake everything, but you could express your emotions even if the person don't like it.
Yeah.
You have to tell them the truth.
Yeah.
Even most times they think that you're lying.
Yeah. People deserve the truth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone deserves the truth. And I think we learned a lot about that. So even though you are not yet adults and you're almost teenagers, right? Almost teenagers. Next year you'll be teenagers. Yeah. Yeah. Next 2 years for you. Are you excited about becoming a teenager? No. Not really. Yeah. Yeah. It's not the. It can be nice and it cannot be nice as well. Let's just say they're both positives and negatives to each. And I'm glad you guys were able to point out the things about life that you've learned, because the whole thing of context clues, we're not just teaching you this so you can go write an exam and get A's or get B's or get 90% or whatever. The whole point of teaching you that is so that you can read social situations. So you're in a room, you can read basically maybe you should say something, maybe you shouldn't say something, and figure out what the best course of action is. And also when you're reading something, you understand what you're reading, because people don't always say what they mean, and not everything someone says is the truth. So that's basically what we learned today. So you have to figure out how best to read a situation given the information in the sentence, in their tone, how they say it, and whatever other information they give you. So this can work not just for English, right? This can work for any subject area: social studies, drama, music, whatever. Yeah, that's about it for today. Thank you so much for joining me, girls. I really had fun with you. And over to your math teacher in a few minutes. Hope you enjoyed that session as well. Bye. Take care.
Hi boys and girls, welcome to another session of Critical Math, grade 6 to 7. Our topic today, multiplication and division of whole numbers, and we are incorporating our base 10 concept from the last session, and so we'll be using our base 10 blocks. So let's begin right away. All right. So today we are looking at multiplication of whole numbers, and we all know the concept 2 multiplied by 3. We know the algorithm. We know the algorithm for multiplying, right? Even so we know 2 times 3 is 6. If we have 21 times 3, the algorithm is 3 times 1, that's 3. 3 times 2, that's 6. So 21 times 3 will give us 63, right? So that's the algorithm. So for us to understand what's happening with the algorithm, we have with us our base 10 blocks. And these blocks are going to help us to grasp the concept of multiplication in various ways. And so you can transfer those concepts to your regular everyday duties in terms of multiplication of whole numbers can be transferred to finding the area, right, of a rectangle or a square, depends on what you have. Later on, when you go into the higher classes as well, right, you can transfer the similar concept into algebra, right? So once you got those basic fundamentals covered, well, then we can more or less, the concepts would be more or less mastered, all right? So let's go to our blocks. So first of all, I had our first example just now was 2 multiplied by 3, right? When we were examining factors, we said that it can be viewed as 2 rows of trees, right? So you're going to take your single, all right, so the green blocks here, so you're going to take out your green blocks. These are our units, so each person will take out a set of green blocks. And this is what you're going to do for me here. So we're going to set them down like this. This over here. So red we're going to use. So we can have 2 rows of, help me, 2 rows of, 2 times 3. 2 rows of trees, or we can set them like that. 2 is there. Take another block. Let me drop this down a bit here. 1. I'm going to change the color in a bit. 1, 2, and then we have a third one here. Right? So let me change the color of all the blocks so we'll have it symmetrical and similar in nature. So hence now. All right. So that's your first replication. So it's 2, all right? 2 times 3. So we have 2 along the, well, we can call this the vertical side, and then the horizontal side, we have 3 there. Now, if I'm to complete, right? If I'm to, notice like a rectangle, we can form like a rectangle there. Right? Notice we have like a rectangle being formed. So 2 rows of 3. So it means then I can add a layer here. Another one here. Another one here. Okay. Another one here. Another one here. All right. So let's line this up a bit. So how many blocks? Ouch. All right. How many blocks are you seeing in the middle here? 6. So 2 times 3 will give us 6. So if you think in terms of multiplication being like if you're finding the area of a rectangle, right? So it means the space between here would be the product of 2 times 3 here. So your result would be 2 times 3, which will give you 6 blocks in the middle there. Take you follow? So you can replicate that using your little green blocks. So because we'll go on to higher questions in a bit. Replicate it a bit. 2 on the side. 3 at the top. 1, 2, 3. And then you fill up the space. So the space that is filled actually gives you the area of the rectangle here. Right? Thank you. So this is the space that you're looking at here. 6. 2 rows of trees will give you 6. Good. Right. Nicely. Now, let's say we increase on our numbers. So let's start over here a bit. So let's say we have 15 multiplied by 9. All right? So we're looking at 15 multiplied by 9. So now remember, we are using our base 10 blocks, right? So 15 would be what? A layer of 10 plus 5, right? So take your 110. Move the green away, move the green away. So remember the yellow blocks represent 10, 110. So 15 would be 110 and 5 ones. 110 and 5 ones. So you can line them up however you want. Put it together here alongside. So that's 15. 10 and 5. Or you can do it like that. 110 plus 5. Good? So add the 2 more to get you 5. Good. And what is our next number? 9? Multiply by 9. So we're putting 9 across. Now, can we use the yellow blocks? No, the yellow blocks are 110. So it means we have to use the units. So the 9 goes across just a bit here. Here. You can actually put it up there. So put your 9. Just put it up a little bit above. Just a little bit above. All right, closer. Close. Put them close together. No space between them. Right. Now, so how can you actually complete the rectangle? So let me imitate what we said. So we're looking at 15, right? So I can rotate this block. Or sorry. Let me rotate it back. Change the color. So that's 10 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's 15. Right? So my 9 now, my 9 would be the single ones going down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 more, 7, 8, 9. 9. So let's complete that rectangle. So how many sticks or how many blocks of 10 can we fill up in that rectangle there? Notice we can have 9 going down, if you notice. You see you can have 9 going down. So you can have 9 across here, so you can have 9. So fill up that area there with 9 with the yellow sticks. Alright, so fill up that area there nicely. Yellow sticks first. Yellow sticks going down. We're going to go to the algorithm in a few. Okay. Are we getting somewhere? Everybody finished filling up the area there with the 9 tenths. Great. And then the other remaining areas, remember you can't use, right? So remember we have 9, right? So we can't get a 10 there. So what are you going to do in this little spot here? You need to fill them up with a little green. Wonderful. So fill up those with a little green. So let's see how quickly I can do this here. So all of this is green. Now we're doing it one at a time. Come on, push, 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 push. Let the greens go in. And what you're going to do for me, you're going to count all of those. And you're going to tell me what's 15 times 9. You know the algorithm. What? All right. All right, one person is almost finished. Come on, stack the greens up. Okay. All right, let me get some assistance here. Good. I'm stacking. I'm stacking a bit. Ooh. There you go. Oops. Make sure they're nice and even there. All right. So, what's the total? Now you know the yellow blocks are how much? They represent 110. So how many tens do we have with the yellow? Don't count. Remember, you're not supposed to count the outer one. Which one is the outer one? You're not counting the outer one. So you're counting the one on the inside. How many you have?
90.
90. Did you count the outer one? Don't count the outer one. 90. So it's 90 plus the little ones. Do your factor concept. That's 5 times 9. How much you getting? 5 times 9 there? So how many of the little green ones you have? Excepting here. So if you look here, 9 times 10 will give us 90. 9 fives, that's 45. And then, so you have 90, 45. So this is where the algorithm actually takes you based on the concept that you've just done there. So that's 5, 9 and 4 give us 13. So you should have 135 there when you count that. You got it?
Yes.
Great. So that's how the algorithm for multiplication comes about, using the base 10 blocks. Think you follow? So when you're setting up as well, so even if you're given a large number, you can break it up like that, right? And then you can actually find, it's like if you're finding the area of a particular rectangle. You get the idea? Great. So what about 12 times 13? 12 times 13. So how would you replicate 12 times 13? 12 times 13. All right, nicely done. And 13. Make sure you have space, right? So push them up a bit. 13, 1, 2, 3. Very good. What you do next? You can fill up the slots there. Great. Great. Make sure they're nice and even. Cool. $12, 10 and 2 is 12, and 13. So I can rotate this block here. Rotate you, put you down here, and 3 blocks. 1, change your color here. 1, 2, change our color here, and then we have a third one. All right, so that's the outside framework. All right, that's the outside framework, right? So, everybody almost finished? All right, now here we have a 10, right? So here we have a, ouch. So here we have a 10 and a 10. So 10 times 10 will give us 10 times 10. 100. So which block is representative of 100? A red block. So instead of using each individual yellow block, you could have used, you're not wrong, right? You could have used one of the red blocks there, which represents 100. So I'll add this here. So put that in the middle there, and then you can stack. Right? So then we can keep stacking here. You can rotate a bit here. So this is just a shortcut. Alright, this is just a shortcut. Right? That is just a shortcut. I can keep adding here as well. One more. I can keep adding one more there. Great. And then I can fill up empty slots there to form my rectangle nicely with these little individual ones here. I'll change the color in a bit so we have the color scheme going. Alright, so I need someone to give me the answer. Okay. Someone to give me the answer for 12 times 30. Alright, so that is our, alright, so that's how it looks area wise. So we are counting the blocks in the middle here, right? So we have 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 156. Are we getting 156? Great. So let's look at our all right, in terms of our algorithm, so what's the algorithm? 10 plus 2, right? Alongside 10 plus 3, all right? I'm not getting my board. Just a second. My board. I'm not getting my board. Alright, I'm not getting my board. Anyway. So in terms of the algorithm, well then we can have, I can write here, so it's, let me see. Alright, it's back, sorry. Alright, sorry, it's back. So it's 10 plus 2. Here we have 10 plus 3. We can set it up like that. Alright. So 10 times 10 would be 100. 10 times 2 will give us 20. Right? 3 times 10 will give us 30. 2 times 3 will give us 6. So in other words, 12 times 30, right? Well, we'll have 100 plus 20 plus 30 plus 6. Right? So 6. 3 and 2 is 5. And bring down the 1. Right? But you know it as, in terms of algorithm, 12 times 13. So you put a 0 to hold the place for the 3, right? 1 times 2 will give us 2. 1 times 1 will give us 1. Right? 3 times 2 will give us 6. 3 times 1 will give us 3. And so then you add 6. 3 and 2 is 5. And bring down the 1. 156. So you're seeing the 120 and the 36, right? So here you have the 120. Here you're having the 36 to give you the 156. Clear? Any questions? All right, so you have a few to try for homework. So you can write down 26 times 12, and you can try 46 times 20. Okay? You can do it your regular algorithm way, and then you can drop your little blocks as well. All right? Or you can separate it into like that. Okay? The area section. Areas of the section or sectional areas so that you can have your answer. Any questions? You think you understand what's happening conceptually? Great. So that is what at school you don't really see all of these being behind the scenes. This is behind the scenes, right? All right. Questions? All right. So we'll switch over to division. Great. We'll switch over to division. So let's start off with, for example, a simple one. So 25, we divide in 25 by 2. All right. So what we're going to do first of all, so clear our table. Clear your desk in front of you. Just push them up a little bit. Push them aside. All right. So how do we represent 25? Push them. So represent 25 with your base 10 blocks. 25. That's 2 tens. 2 tens. You could put them together. You can put them together. Yeah, you can put them together. That's fine. Okay, 2 tens and 5 ones. Great. So it's 2 tens. So that's 20 plus 5. All right. So we're dividing that by 2. So what we're going to do, we're going to separate. So we're going to have 2 sections, right? So in your mind, you're going to have one group of a 2 here and another group of a 2 here, somewhere invisible on in front of you. All right? So what we're going to do is that we're going to split that 25 into 2 groups. Follow what I'm saying? Good. So we're going to start off with our tens. Can we split the tens, the 2 tens into 2 groups? Start off. So separate them into 2 groups. Great. 2 groups. Now put the 5s a little on the side. So what we're going to do with the units now, we're going to divide them each separately into each group of 2s that we have there. So distribute the little green ones into it. So 1 over here, 1 over there, 1 over here, 1 over there. Good. All right, 1 over here, 1 over there. So you have 2 groups. These are your 5s. 1 over here, 1 over there. 1 over here, 1 over there. Can we place the 5th one? No, so what do we have? How many? So we have 2 groups there. How much in each group? 12, right? Can you see? 10 and 2, 12. Do we have a remainder? What is our remainder? 1. So this is what you do. You said 2 can go into 2 one time. This is what you would do algorithmically, right? 1 times 2 will give us 2. And you subtract. 2 from 2 gives us 0. So what do you do with that 5? You bring down that 5. Right? 2 can go into 5 how many times? 2 times. So 2 2s 4. And then you subtract. How much you have remaining? So 25 divided by 2 gives us, just like how you found it there, right? 12. And how much remaining? 12 and 1 remaining. Right? Now if we're going to do this in terms of blocks, just like how you did it on that will take up some time. So just like how we did it here, you separate your your number in terms of its place value, and then you see how you can do the little division. What about 25 divided by 3? 25 divided by 3. You're doing it the same mechanism. So get your 25. Now you're dividing it in 3, so you have to have 3 groups. Now, what is there a problem, right? Do we have a problem? What is the problem? The problem is we cannot divide the two tens, so we have to do some trade-off. So what you're going to do, so you're going to trade one of these yellow for 10 of the green. So trade. So put back one of the yellow and you're picking up 10 of the greens. Individual green. Don't mix it up with the 5, right? So put the 5 on side. Line up 10 of the greens there. You line out of 10? Come on. Yes. Okay. Did you get your 10? Good. So do another trade-off with the yellow. Take another 10. All right, so we're doing another trade-off. Great. Everybody got their 10s there. Line them up quickly. Just make sure you still have your 5, right? Because we're still dealing with the number 25. Great. So put this back. Great. So somewhere in front of you, you have to have, remember we need 3 groups. So 3 stations, 1, 2, 3. So what you're going to do is you're going to distribute starting from here. Right? So you're distributing 1 green in each group of 3. Right? So 1, 2, 3, come on. So keep in your head wherever your groups are. So let me help her here. So remember your 5 is there. So 1, 2, 3. Right? 1. That's how you go. Because each group has to have equal amounts, right? Keep stacking it. Keep stacking. Keep stacking. Yeah, come on. Where is the 5? Remember you still had the 5, right? Equal amounts, come on, equal amounts. Let's go, let's go. So, how much in each group? How many? 8. So, 3 8s, 24. Subtract. How much remaining? And you should have 1 that cannot be placed in a group. Right? 1 would be remaining. All right? 1 should be somewhere sticking out here. Any questions there? Did you follow? Yeah. All right, so remember to do the trade-off, right? So if you can divide the 10, so that is why you see where the 8 is? The 8 is over the 5. Because what we've done, we've traded off the 20 into 20 individuals, 20 individual unit blocks to be added to the 5, so they will give you 25. And then those single ones we can separate into groups of 3s. So that's why the 8 is over the 5 and not over the 2. You think you follow? And we have 1 remainder. Right? Now in the case where we were able to divide the 10s, notice you see the 1 is over the 10s place. See? The 1 is over the 10s place here. It's in the correct position because we were able to separate the 10s. Think you follow? Any questions? All right. So for your homework, so you have 240 divided by 5 and 283 divided by 4. 240 divided by 5 and 283 divided by 4.
283.
Yes. So that brings us to the end of our session for today. I hope you had fun working with our base 10 blocks. All right. Thank you. See you next time.